up to New Leipzig, and I got 6 posts, steel posts, and drove them in between. And they were still there the last time I was up there, and that's 3, 4 years.
So we'll have to go out.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know, do you know where Grandma's buried? No.
I did it one time, but I don't know if I can find it anymore.
Grandma's grave,
It's easy to find.
That's
I was
when
there
you-
twice already.
when you come in,
New Leipzig.
went from the south to New Leipzig, you pass that cemetery. On the west side is the Baptist, on the east side is the congregation. And right by the gate there is John and Lydia, and then just a little over, there's 4 graves. I got a tombstone on that too, a little
Yeah,
plate,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I went and looked at it last year.
Yeah, and that's where Mother's on the outside, and
Mr.
Schultz on
Schultz.
that, and there's, she was married
Mrs.
again
Flagg.
after.
Then he married Mrs. Flagg.
Who?
Mrs. Flagg.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's buried beside him, and
Yes, between his first wife and mother.
we were out there. I took my brother out there and showed my brother.
Oh,
And then we
yeah.
were gonna go out to your father, and I didn't know where to go.
Oh, Grandma,
Well, doesn't Reinhold and Otta, they know it.
We didn't stop. We didn't see him. Well, see, my brother was along, so we just drove out to New Leipzig and went to Aunt Christina. And then we went to New Leipzig, we looked at where our grandmother's
Yeah.
buried. And then we was talking about going yet to see where Grandpa's buried, but then we went to my dad's father's grave.
oh, they didn't bury,
Instead.
Grandpa and Grandma are buried together.
Oh,
then.
no.
Oh, see,
oh.
that's it.
Oh, I do.
That's where I got in trouble with all of them, Adam and John.
Grandpa's buried way
Yeah.
out in the,
Yeah.
he just
You
said,
know, where
Yeah.
that Heupel church is,
yeah,
well, it's 4 miles, 5 miles west and a mile north.
that's where he's buried.
Yeah. Yes, I was just the black sheep then, you know. But then they didn't have anything anymore
Yeah.
when I come out. Well, then he died right away, and then I went on the farm with Mother. And we made good. We made good. We rented a bigger farm, and we had good crops. Your mother, she was more entitled to it, and Justine than John and Adam. That's a fact.
Yeah,
They weren't. And John, he just took the money, and Adam. They cheated Mother out of $3,000.
but what did John get? He died so young.
So
60
did Arnold.
years.
Arnold,
Yeah, 60
he
years. John
cheated
was.
his dad.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's just how it was.
Yes, and he died. He didn't take nothing
No,
along.
no.
Adam didn't take nothing
No.
along.
Yeah, Uncle John was 60,
No,
right?
you know, I was standing there just like him. And Christine, me and Christine got really into it. That was right after Mother was buried. They all want to come together. Well, and that's where I just come in when John throws something in the stove and the heater. I didn't know what it was. And old man Schultz says, you shouldn't have done that. Just do something that... Well, then Christine, she fought it around, she couldn't say anything. They got in an argument, Christine and Magdalene. So, and your mother was standing there, and Catherine, she went in, and they had some clothes and stuff there. And they started picking out what they wanted. So I said to Magdalene, to Catherine, I said, what about Carolina? She says, give it the sewing machine.
I remember that,
Yeah. I said, and that's yours, sewing machine.
yeah.
Well, that was something she could use.
Yeah. She got the sewing machine and 2 big chairs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Yeah. Yeah. Now they can't do that no more. When you make out a will, you record it. When you burn it up, there's always another one. You know?
That's the trouble, yeah. I knew that too that time, but it was nothing I could do. And then I come up there one time after Mother was married to Schultz. I was in Aberdeen. I come down to New Leipzig, and I went over. I didn't go over to stay, but I'll go over there to see Mother, you know. And when I come in, she says, we talked a little, and finally I says to her, well, I says, you drawing interest out of your money? I know how much you had. I was there in the sale.
Yeah.
She says, no, John and Adam come in, and they said the banks are going broke.
I remember that too. When Ma talked about it.
And she borrowed them the money. I says, and now what are you going to do? But she says, I saved $200 for you. And you're going to get them $200 now. She says, we'll go down to the bank and get it. Well, I was there quite a few years and done all the hard work,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Pitch and had a box and do all the, and thrashing. And so she gave me the $200. Now I tell you what happened when she passed away. John come in. Well, he was there. We come in. We was on the bicycle rack. I worked there for the J.M. Ranch. And after she passed away, John says to Hertz, well, I have to pick out a coffin. Okay, Hertz says. John says, Hertz says, I don't know what gives Hertz, Manuel Hertz the idea. He says, your mother was on welfare. I says, my mother wasn't on welfare. Oh yes, Hertz. Her and Schultz, he went and done the same thing. He borrowed from one of his boys and he left. And they even had the house mortgaged. So he says, but the welfare in Carson, they would help. They had coffins. Well, John says to me, let's go down. He never had a car that run anyway. And we drove to Carson, went in there, and sheriff's office, and John says if he had some coffins here. Yeah, he says, I think there's one of them out in the woodshed. I says, in the woodshed? Yeah. He says, they're making penitentiary. I said to John, you want to walk home or you want to stay and look at the coffin? I said, I'm leaving right now. I said, my mother never was in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
So, we left. After the funeral, well, the funeral is $170. That was cheap that time. And there
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
family wreath, that was $25. And John didn't have no money, and Adam, he come from California. He didn't have nothing. Pauline says to me, we was going to buy some cattle and start farming right away that summer. Pauline says, well, we got some money. She says, you got over $800 in the bank for me. I says, well, I says, we have to bury you, and I says, I hate to put a mortgage on it. So we went, and I paid Hertz. And then Adam says he's gonna send me $40. And John said he was gonna give me $60. I says, well, that's good enough. You give me that. And the rest of them, I didn't, well, they didn't get nothing,
Yeah,
the girls.
yeah.
So, we paid hurts, and John never paid for anything. Adam come out one time, I was living in Bismarck, and he stayed overnight, him and Emma. And so I wrote to him a couple times. And I said, well, Adam, I says, how come you never wrote to me, or you never sent me part of that? I says, you know, I went down and looked out. I says, I worked hard for it. I had to do the whole works because I took my mother to Steiger's funeral, Biff Steiger's mother funeral, and on the way back she asked me if she gets a coffin like Mrs. Steiger had. I says, I'll try. He was along too, that's truth. And that's what I did. And I was stuck with it. And then finally they went, well, when John Lemke was up there down the sheep ranch, he come up and John Heupel, they went and they put that wooden fence around, but the post rubbed off, John says. So I went and I bought them posts, and he was along, and I put them in, and that's what. Well, I tried to forget.
Well, there's a stone on there.
Huh?
There's a stone on there. Did you boys put the stone on there?
But what?
On your mother's grave, there's a stone.
Well, I put that
Oh,
blade
you
on.
put that on there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you
I
see-
made one for Dad and one for Mother.
yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we couldn't even find it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Uncle John's buried there too, and Aunt Lydia.
Yeah. Lydia. Right next to it.
Yeah. What did Uncle John die from then? A stroke? He was only 60, right?
Yeah. No, he was no 60 yet, was he?
I don't know. He was real young.
Or was he?
I think
I
Ma,
don't know.
I think Ma said one time he would have been 60.
That could be, yeah. Yeah, see, he had the stroke. He had lots of them. He was in the hospital for several months, you know, in Elton. And then he went home and, there was fighting around. And when he come back, we was down in Aberdeen to fill a pipe and to get us for Christmas. They come with us. And when we come back, Arnold, he was sick and the barn was full of manure. So John, he went out and he really hauled manure, and it was around 30 below, you know,
Oh, yeah.
wet. And when he got through in the evening, the rest of them went out to milk, and he went and sat in the house behind the stove, you know, and then he had to go. So they took him to Elton. He was in Elton for a couple of months in the hospital. And he went home, and he felt pretty good. And I don't know, they split up, I guess. Arnold, he was out on the farm, and John, he was in town at the house. And Elizabeth, Lydia, she was out. Arnold's there. Oh, I tell you, that was a hell of a mess.
I remember. All
Yes. And, well, then we moved, Pauline passed away, and then we moved to Bismarck in Ruth. Then Lydia, she was here in the hospital. She flowed, you know.
Yeah, I remember when she died. And when Uncle John died, then the kids started fighting.
Well, they fought before he died, didn't they? Already then.
They had
The
the
kids fought before Uncle John died. Because
You're
I remember
right.
I was home already, yet, you know,
bad.
when
Arnold got everything.
Yeah.
He didn't get nothing. Helen got a few $100, and Ernest didn't get nothing whatsoever. And now, the Werner and
They got the
Leo,
same as.
well, no, they bought the section of
Oh,
land.
they bought theirs.
Oh, yeah, but as soon as John was dead, they had to move off over in theirs. They bought that Stelda farm, you know, a
Oh,
section.
yeah, yeah.
And they live over there, and Werner, she is cooking in Elton in that, what you call it? It's not a cafe, it's some kind of a hall.
Oh,
Yeah, she's cooking, and Leo, he was buying creamer, you know, and Arnold, he was in there,
yeah, I
bought that.
remember
And then Leo went in, and after Arnold was dead, why then Arnold's boys, they come and they had to move on. Warner raised them kids, you
that.
know.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Well, that's the kind of deals you get.
yeah, that's so.
So,
I remember grandmother's house in New Leipzig.
yeah,
I can shut my eyes and I know the house, how you came in the door, went upstairs, everything.
no.
Because I stayed there and that's in
I
the
don't know
memory.
who was, if it's still there, I don't know.
Yeah, we drove, about 2 years ago, we drove down there.
Oh,
And I showed one of the boys where my grandma lived.
yeah,
But I don't know who owns it.
I don't know.
Someday I'm gonna stop and ask if I can come in. I wanna see if it still looks the same.
I doubt it.
See, next door lived the old Buchwitzes.
Yeah, oh, very good.
Yeah, I used to crawl across the fence and go over to Buchwitzes. And then Grandpa Schultz said, "You get over here, you got nothing to do over there, stay over here."
And on the other side was
Fathers.
Louis.
Oh, okay. And
Oh, wait a minute.
there was a
We're out at
father
Barber.
there too.
A barber.
Yeah,
And his wife, she could talk German. She talked with mother, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck was, he moved to Bismarck. After I come down, I went down there and had a haircut, and here he was. I believe Johnson was his name.
I don't know no more either.
Yeah, and I says, I know you from someplace, but not where. He says, seems to me that I know you too, and so I told him who I was, and well, he says, I know that John Heupel. I says, well, that's my brother. He says, well, then Mrs. Schultz be your mother? I says, yeah, she was my mother.
Mhm.
He says, my wife, she always talked German to her. Well, I says, that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, I went to school in Bertzels, you know, they lived, you know where the school was.
Yeah,
Then he lived in a great big white house there.
yeah.
And old Bertzel, you know, he was a nice old man.
Oh,
And I almost told Grandma I'm gonna marry him. I was just a little kid, I was gonna marry that old man. Cause he had a big white house. And he's
Yeah,
dead long, long
but
time
he
ago.
was a nice fellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were together.
He done a lot of work for, lot of things for Mother and Dad Schultz
Mhm.
when they lived there, especially when Mother got sick, you know.
Well, our mother worked many years for Uncle John, didn't she?
Well,
All
Dad-
her life.
Because
Dad
she does-
did too
she
when they
said-
first got married, Dad did
Wow.
too. But they never got, Dad and Uncle John never got along. I mean, Dad never, I don't know why, but Dad never liked Uncle John. He never did,
Well, because he was bossing them around,
up to the time
trying
Dad
to
died.
make a fool out of them,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he did with me too,
yeah.
and that didn't work.
But you got rewarded. Just look at, you're here, you get around good, you feel
Uh-huh.
good, and they're all gone, there's your reward.
Oh, sure, I don't get around, but
Well, you still, as long as you can get around and take care of yourself,
Yeah.
that's a,
Well, that's what it is, yeah.
Well, Mother said she got two horses from Uncle John, I think,
Yeah,
and 2 cows.
from Uncle John?
Yeah,
No,
where did
from
she
Mother.
get it? From her mother, okay. Well, then, of course, my father, he fiddled it away right away.
Huh?
My father, he sold the cows and bought an old Model A or something, Ma said.
I don't know what he did.
Didn't he
But-
kill the horse in the mine, in the coal mine? He killed one of the horses when he worked in the coal mine, when there was something there.
He had Charlie and Frank, a great team.
Charlie and Franklin.
We, that was, oh, I remember yet. They, Dad was gonna give them to me when I was home yet, if I stayed home, and I says, I don't want no horses from you, and I couldn't get along with him. And then, that's what, Mother wouldn't give them up. And then when I went back and helped Mother, you know, and then I bought some horses, and she gave me 2 of them, 2 young colts.
Mhm.
That's all I wanted. I says, they're not mortgaged. I said, I'll take them. I says, the rest is all mortgaged anyway.
Yeah.
That's the way that worked. You see, but she trusted John so much and had him. You know, there wasn't hardly anything left. And then they was gonna foreclose. There was debts all over. I don't know what the devil had with the money.
Yeah.
Everybody was working out. And so they went around, and John, he could lie like a horse.
Mhm.
And they went to all the creditors. And they got exactly what they owed. Then they went and turned around and went to Mott. And they went to Murray. And Murray made out a mortgage from Dad to Mother.
Mhm.
Give her everything in mortgage, which he didn't own.
Yeah.
He'd give her a mortgage on that. And of course, Murray, he couldn't call for Sherman. So I asked Murray one time, how in the hell, I says, could you do that? He says, you know something? He says, they was poorer than church mouse. He says, that's why I turned it over to your mother instead of your dad. Get his name on. And by golly, they couldn't foreclose. But then John and Adam fell.
Yeah, yeah, that was too bad.
Yeah, so, golly, but oh, that's,
I remember going out to Uncle John's farm.
oh yeah, I was,
I remember that.
when I moved to Elgin, he come over. He says, no, New Leipzig. I had the show business there then. Well, I couldn't have Pauline out the farm anymore.
Yeah.
Couldn't have joked, you know. I was plowing in the spring there. I come over the hill with the tractor, and I thought, by golly, it was around 9 o'clock. I started the field. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and gonna go in and see you. Get a cup of coffee and a little lunch. When I come in, she was baking rolls and bread, you know. And I opened the door, and it was just dark and smoke. Pauline was sitting at the davenport, blinded in a bed. So I opened the windows and the doors, and there was coffee all right and the rolls. But the smoke did. Somehow the wind
Mm-hmm. Brought it back down.
brought it down, see? And, well, I got the smoke out, and then she got up, and she was sitting there helpless.
Mm-hmm.
and I had that coffee, and then Ernest Ibert, he was plowing next to my field. He come running in. He says, he says, what happened? Your tractor's running out there by the big color stuff. He says, nobody around. I thought something happened here. I says, it did. He says, kind of smoke in here. I says, that's it. I says, you want a cup of coffee? He says, yes. I says, you got your tractor running? Yeah, he said, let him run. He was working for Mrs. Snook.
Oh.
It was neighbors. Yeah. So I had to move down to something.
Mhm. I don't remember Pauline.
I do.
Your wife. I don't remember her.
Who? Pauline?
Yeah, I don't remember her. That's funny. I never forget. I got a good memory because I can remember from a little kid when I walked to school, but I can't remember your wife.
I do remember.
Ruby remembers you kids.
I
Is that
remember
right?
Ruby too. I remember. I even remember when Pauline, when she died, she was in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the living room. I can even remember that.
Well, it was your wife's last name before you got married. Schatz?
Her,
Where does the Schatz come in?
No, that,
My
there's
mother always,
shot.
my mother always liked a woman, Pauline Schatz.
Oh, my cousin married the shops.
Oh, yeah. It was her name Pauline?
Uncle Fred's
Yeah, her
daughter.
name was-
That's where they always went. Ma always said she liked Pauline Schatz. Now,
Yeah.
where did she come in? I couldn't figure out.
Yes, Pauline Schatz, her mother died when she was a baby, and there was 3 boys, and Philip, Philip Heupel, he was with
Yeah.
Ernest.
Yeah.
He was a well driller, and he was very much handicapped, And then there was another one, was Adolf, he was in the army, he died too. They're all dead. Paul was the baby. Yeah, that's where Pauline Schatz comes in.
Oh, uh-huh.
I remember her.
Yeah.
I remember,
And
what
Pauline,
she looked like.
my wife, Pauline, was Pauline Heupel.
Oh,
Yes, she was
that's right.
a sister to Reuben, Abel.
Mhm. I know Ruben. Yeah. Okay.
Accidents can happen.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember that little Gustav Heupel. Was he your uncle then?
He was good uncle, yeah.
Oi, oi, oi. He'd make his teeth out at me. He had false teeth. And he'd spit them out at me. And I'd scream, go underneath the bed, holler and scream. Hey, I remember that. Ma always said Gustav Heupel. Little Gustav or something they called him.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a little updated here. How's Aunt Mary?
Huh?
How is Aunt Mary now? Did you ever hear from her?
Oh, yes. Let's see, yeah.
Oh, good old picture. She had a stroke.
Huh?
She had a stroke, didn't she? Aunt Mary? Oh, she didn't.
Oh.
Well,
That's her right here.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, how is she? I thought,
Oh, she's okay. I just talked with her 2 weeks ago. I say, what is she around? Didn't I say 80 a while ago?
I think so.
I forget so much. Things are turned around then.
Well, she didn't have a stroke then. I thought,
No.
who said she had a stroke already?
No.
I don't know, somebody told me.
Somebody said she had a stroke.
She had no stroke. Her husband had a stroke and died.
Yeah, I know he passed away, yeah. Did they have that reunion in June?
Huh?
Did they have that reunion in New Leipzig in June? Or Elgin?
Last year?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, see, they didn't have that.
We didn't have no reunion for,
They said they was gonna make one, but they never did.
not that I know, not
No,
the
did they?
Heupel reunion.
No, because Esther said if she hears anything, she's gonna call me, and she never called.
No.
So she mustn't have.
But it was, Oh, my wife is still living, Elizabeth. When we had that reunion, and there was, oh, that's about a while ago. Christine was there, Macklin was
That's
there.
when I said we should go, when we had that reunion that time.
Yeah,
Then we didn't go, something was coming up or going on, we didn't go.
yeah, that's right. You wasn't there.
No. But I knew about it.
Yeah,
I knew about it.
that's the time the Stearns was asking Adam where their grandfather, my dad, was buried. And they said that I was out there and put a marker on.
Uh-huh.
And Adam says to him, I was up there and talking to a fellow that married that Ted's wife. Ted's was his name, from Glenollet. And all at once I heard him say down there, he don't know where that is, that grave. Yeah.
Well, someday we'll all go out there and we'll look.
Well, Leonard said I thought Leonard would probably come back up this fall because he said he was maybe going to come back. Milking cows and stuff, it's pretty hard too, I suppose. He's in pretty bad shape, Leonard. His bones.
Oh, has
Yeah.
he got that arthritis too?
Yeah, he can't walk.
Yeah.
They were up, when was they up? In July? July?
Yeah, we'll
Wasn't
make
it
that
July?
reunion.
Yeah. And he gets, he just can't hardly move at all, just barely he can go. And then the humidity is so high there
Yeah.
all the time. And he said he's getting where sometimes he gets under the cow and he can't get up. When they first come, he was so stiff, he just almost had to crawl. But then the humidity was pretty good, and then he kind of straightened out. Yeah, his bones are bad.
Well, humidity is getting awful high here.
Here too, yeah.
They got so many dams here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that big dam in Garrison and the one in Mobridge and so many little ones.
Yeah.
Lakes. It's almost like Minnesota.
Well, sure. Sure.
Sure, my bones, they grow out all over, you know. And
Well, you are.
I got some in my backbone. That's why I can't walk over half a block.
Yeah.
And then I'm too heavy for that kind of a disease too. That's a wicked disease.
I think Leonard's maybe too.
Oh, yeah, Leonard's awful heavy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very heavy.
Well, that's what happened.
What does that hurt in your bones? All your bones?
Well, that goes in between the bones,
That must be what I got.
the joints.
I can't sleep nights. My hands hurt. My knees hurt. My toes hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Oy, oy, oy.
That's the way he was.
Don't tell me what hurts.
Then I don't have to worry, because you lived a long time, I'll live that long too.
Well, I got pretty bad about 5 years ago. Elizabeth was, the last year Elizabeth was living. I was working over here in the Civic Center. And sometimes I wasn't door when it was an awful draft, you know,
Mhm.
and caught cold
Mm-hmm.
at night, you know. And so finally I quit. And then this arthritis started. Then Elizabeth passed away. And I was living in my trailer over there in Stardust. And I went over to get the mail, and it was only, no, not very far. And there was ice, you know, and snow, and I always fell. And then I told Ruby and Erna, my stepdaughter, and she says, you better get out of that thing. And Ruby says, you come down here. And she says, you get in this low rent house like this is. Well, I says, I could do that, but I says, when I'm down there, I can't hardly move around. And so finally I haven't sold it, and then I come over here. Well, it didn't get any better. And sometimes it gets worse.
But it's nicer, you take the elevator, if you wanna go down.
Oh, I can't go in the steps. You see, I had surgery after I was in here,
Mhm.
and that really fixed me up.
You got a lot of these apartments there, you know? Our son married a girl, her mother lives in one of these apartments like that. She likes it,
What's that?
in Mandan.
Oh, yeah, Mandan.
She lives in Mandan. She likes
Oh,
it.
yeah. It was the poorest people there was in North Dakota. And I always was wondering, and my first wife, we come down to St. Esther, I don't know if you remember yet, we had a V8 car, and we had so much vegetable canned stuff in charge. And my wife, she was always so willing, you know, liberal to give away, and she taught a lot of your mother. And she had that dang truck so full that I didn't know, it was just luck to get sent that. When we come up there, why, I went in and I said to your mother, well, get your kids out and help carry in. And I can remember there was one after the other. Yeah.
Well, and, you know, the Steiger kids, they said the same thing. They thought they were left out.
Yeah.
They were poor and left out. Yeah, that's,
Well, the Steiger kids wasn't half that smart.
no.
Not just like the Langs.
Gee,
Not
that sounds
that.
good. That must be where my kids get it from.
That's what I want to try and tell you. Children that was raised so poor, and so many, and yet they all come out on top.
We did, none of us ever got divorced. You
And
know?
all got plenty to eat.
Yeah.
We always ended
That's
up.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And plenty of clothes to wear.
Yeah.
The Steigers, they didn't have it.
yeah, we all stayed together.
Yeah, and the Steigers, they were rich. Steigers had a lot of money.
Yeah. But we all, you know, we all grew up, all 11 of us, and we all get along. We don't fight.
But sure,
We go to each other,
That's
get
right.
along.
I know
That's
that.
how the folks raised us.
that's what I'm
But you know,
talking
there wasn't nobody in this world that could have, that our mother couldn't get along with.
Oh, yeah, mother got along.
Oh,
Everybody,
yeah.
no matter where they lived, where they went, where she was, everybody admired our mother, you know.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, nobody could ever say anything bad, or she could never
No.
say nothing bad. She
That
was
was the home
always,
that way too, you know.
Yeah, I believe
If,
that.
if we, when I was the home, when we harvest, you know, and thrashing or in spring, after that was gone, then I went and got some cows and started milk, you know. And in harvest, mother always says, calling a black family. She had to get your mother. You know. What she told her, that was it, you know. And your mother was awful clean with everything. Well, Mary, she wasn't that way, neither was Pauline. And Justine, she wasn't. Well, then Justine and Mary and Pauline, they had to get on the header box. And Justine had to stack. And in stacking, you know, I unloaded, then I stacked from both sides. Your mother never went out in the field, once in a while. But your grandmother, she always kept Carolina home.
She was soft-hearted.
Oh yeah, she was. She didn't set her back or anything or argue.
not even Dad. She
No.
never even sassed him back, you know.
No, sometimes she should have said
She
something.
should have said a lot sometimes when you think, no.
Oh yeah.
But
But
she
she
never
would
said that.
never
You know, I
say
think that's why she died so young. She kept everything in here,
Yeah.
too much. Didn't say nothing. you know,
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes.
that's right.
I often wondered, when she first died, I often said, there's no God to take her away from us, you know.
She was
Well,
so
she
good.
went through a lot.
Yeah.
She went through too much. I don't know if there's another woman could take that much.
She
There
did.
isn't.
Yeah, she went through a lot in life.
I don't know which one was born last.
Linda.
Linda. You know, that time that was so hard times that even the hospital wouldn't take a patient.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember that.
I wasn't here, but what I've been told, you know, they was driving around in 3 different towns before she was accepted for the hospital to have her baby.
I don't know. She was home yet.
Yeah, she was,
You know.
she had it
And
then.
it was in New Salem, I believe, where she had the last baby. I'm not sure.
That must be the one she lost. Maybe.
Yeah,
She lost that.
That wasn't
that
the
baby
town.
was dead already.
Mhm.
I couldn't find no place to get in.
That wasn't, that was,
That was in Salem.
which one was that after behind, let's see,
Leo.
Leo, yeah.
Yeah.
Behind, right after Leo.
That's when they left New Salem then.
Yeah,
They moved to Mandan.
yeah. Yeah, and by golly, you know, John and Catherine and Magdalena, well, Catherine, she was dead, I believe, then.
Yeah, Catherine died young.
But Christine, there was, well, they was down there, Groton and them up, and none of them, and Justine, none of them, they paid any attention.
Yeah. I
That's
know.
what got me, and that was, yeah,
That Aunt Maggie really was Magdalene. That's what
there
you read
isn't
on.
another woman that would go through that. I know it.
That's my memory. Magdalene. You should just well name me first that, and then the other one.
Yeah.
See, my middle
Yeah.
name's Magdalena.
Huh?
My name's Magdalena. My
Your
middle
name?
name.
Oh, your middle name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's,
But
when
my
I was in Aberdeen that time, when I come out, I heard about that boy. I said to John, well, where was you? You said you was ahead. Well, this is, I got my family here. I said, I see you have.
Sure.
Says, you live pretty good here. I says, them girls done more than you and me ever did.
Well, Peter lives down. You know, I never saw Peter from the time he was a little boy until Arnold died. I seen him at Arnold's funeral.
Oh,
Peter
oh,
was
yeah.
here. That's, I bet it was 30 years in between that I seen Peter.
On the roof.
Heupel.
Peter Heupel.
Peter Heupel.
Peter, not Albert.
No, Peter.
Yeah.
He never come back till Arnold died, you know.
Peter was here 2 years ago.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen him since he was a little boy. I couldn't believe it. His hair was all white.
yeah.
Ain't good looking kid he
Well,
is.
he is not a little boy anymore.
Big one.
Believe you me.
I'd like to take his
Yeah,
picture.
really, yeah, well, if you get the camera close or far enough over.
Oh, he
Oh,
feels himself.
He's got heart trouble, he says, but my goodness. Oh, he weighs way over 200.
Oh, I see Helen every once in a while at this one.
Huh?
I see Helen a lot.
Oh, do you?
She buys groceries.
Yeah,
for her.
in the super bag.
Yeah, I see her every once in a while. Ern, I wouldn't know. I would never know Ern anymore, because I never saw her since she was a little kid.
Oh, no,
Ern Heupel.
she's not here.
No, I know, I wouldn't know her though.
Well, I don't think I would know it. I'd seen her 20-some years ago.
That's, it's been many years since I saw her.
They come in from Washington. They was in Washington, D.C. You know, her husband, he is a bread man. He's selling bread.
Uh-huh.
And then they come in from the south, and they went to Washington to get jobs there.
Mm.
Pete and John, you know.
Yeah.
And so they stopped here at Helen, and Helen called me, and I went up. I was still single, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next day they left. It was bad weather. They went to California. And then they got jobs out there again. This girl's selling bread, and Pete, he's selling suitcases. Samsonite suitcases
Oh.
in the warehouse, you know. He had a stroke.
Is that
Heart
right?
attack. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they didn't think it was going to pull through.
The only one I see a lot is Esther Eastler.
Oh, yeah.
I see her quite a bit.
Well, yeah, they lived over there.
Yeah, we were over there last winter. We sold them a bale of hay, and they sold us some wheat.